Can someone please confirm if I am audible to you guys and my screen is visible?
Good morning, Sohail.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, great. We can get started. Then we have already waited for 5 minutes because we changed time today. I thought let's give a minute or so extra to people to join. Right, and I see a good number of people have joined, so we can get started. Do you guys have any questions, any doubt on what we did yesterday? I mean, there wasn't anything technical. It was a theory part, but still, do you guys have any doubt, any questions, any explanation which you need again? We covered the part what is cloud. We covered the part what are the types of cloud or deployment models. What is a public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. Then we looked at the services or types of services you can call it, or service model you can call it. That what is infrastructure as a service, what is platform as a service, what is SaaS as a service. By the way, mostly we will be working on infrastructure as a service. So whenever, not now, obviously, at the end of the call, sorry, at the end of this session, when I will be talking about interview preparation, etc. Right. So right time, whenever an interviewer or a screening person is asking you about your expertise or your area of expertise or which area have you worked on mostly. So they mean, have you worked on infrastructure as a service? Have you worked on platform as a service? Have you worked on software as a service? So you can always say you will have to say that you have core experience with infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service we are going to cover, but on a small scale. Software as a service, we don't have to cover anything in this. This is very simple. Like we discussed an example yesterday of Google Drive. You don't have to learn anything uh, to use Google Drive, right? Or to give someone a Google Drive. Still, we are going to see this, but major focus we will be keeping on infrastructure as a service. And if someone asks you, so you will have to say that, yes, I have worked mostly on infrastructure as a service. But still, I know platform as a service, I know software as a service. This is the approach you should be having. I will be repeating this. You will be saying this again. Don't worry. So any questions still here, guys? What is cloud? Or what are the types of cloud? And all these details, whatever we have discussed. And serverless architect computing, I told you, it is nothing, but it is just another name of your software as a service or platform as a service. Where you're not handling soft server, in this case, server is there referring to operating system, not the hardware part. Here they're referring to operating system. So where you are not responsible for server, that is called serverless computing. So if I have to host an application, right, very basic thing is what I will require a server, right? I discussed with you about Swiggy, about Ola, anything. If you want to host an application, so what do you need? You need a server. But we have a concept here of serverless computing, right? Serverless application, you can say. But is it really serverless? No, it is not. It is not actually serverless. It means the server is being handled by someone else, not by you. Is it clear, guys? So there is no application actually which is serverless. All application will definitely have a server, but you are not handling the server. Server are working behind the scene, but servers are there. And that there is a joke also. Let me show it to you, an image. So maybe you'll understand. If I'm not sure how many of you can relate to this cartoon, right? This was a Scooby-Doo cartoon where they used to catch ghosts and etc. So most of the time, the ghost used to be some unknown person. And so similarly, when you say serverless computing, okay, at the front, it looks like it is serverless computing. Okay, this application is running without server. For example, translation app, the Google translation app you have, for you it is serverless because you are not handling the server. Even if you're using as an end user or as a company, as an enterprise, for you it is serverless app. You're not bothered about the server. कि उसके पीछे Windows server है, Linux है, AIX है. Is it built on Python? Is it built on Java? Is it built on .NET? You are not worried at all. You are just worried about functionality. Can I install something or can I upload something and get the translation? Yes. So That is a serverless computing for you. But actually, iske piche, what is it? There are servers, but the only thing is that you don't handle them. Is it clear, guys? This part. By the way, you can go ahead and read the definition also. I'm completely fine with it. So, having said that, is it clear for everyone that what is serverless computing? What is types of services or service model and deployment models? Any questions, guys?
No.
No.
What about
No.
others, guys? Any questions, any doubt?
No.
Great. Then if you don't have, as I told you that initial 10-15 minutes we are going to spend in asking questions. So if you don't have any questions, I can ask few of them, right? So just give me 1 minute. I'll randomly pick anyone. Just trying to recall who were there yesterday. Sharmali, you were there in yesterday's class, right? Sharmali, can you hear me? Can you please unmute yourself? Okay, let's move to Ashfaq Karbal. Not Ashfaq Mujahid, Ashfaq Karbal. You were there, right, Ashfaq? Can you please unmute yourself? Thank you. Can you please explain the types of services? I'm just looking for the 3 types of services. No explanation, no detailed explanation. What are the types of services or what are the service models do we have in cloud? Ashfaq, I cannot hear you if you're speaking. I cannot hear you. I'm not sure about others. I cannot hear you. Guys, can you hear me? Rest of you, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ashfaq Karbal, can you hear me? Okay, looks like he has some issues with his mic. You can mute yourself, Ashfaq, no problem. Sunil, can you answer the same question? What are the types
Yeah,
of
sure.
services? Yes.
There are 3 types of services:
Mhm.
public cloud, hybrid cloud, and public, hybrid, and private cloud.
If these are the types of services, then what are the types of cloud?
Sorry, I made confusion between
See, guys,
actually the
that's okay. That's okay. You got it, right? It's okay. You don't have to
yeah.
literally answer that. See guys, these are very basic questions. अगर आप यहाँ पर ऐसे होगा तो इंटरव्यू में भी ये होगा definitely. This is the reason we practice here. This is the reason you have to read the question. I understand. You've got few hours less compared to what we had decided. We decided we'll start at 3, but you had enough time. I hope you guys have gone through and you have read them.
Hello,
Right? Yes, Prabhat.
I cannot hear you.
What about others? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
We
we
can
can.
hear.
Let
Yes,
me
yes.
message him. Let me message him to rejoin. Okay, Prabhat was not able to hear me, so I've asked him to rejoin. Okay. So guys, please make sure you do not get confused. You read the terminologies, you read the technical jargons. It will help you a lot, right? Uh, Let me pick someone else. Razak, I hope you were there, right, in last session. So can you please explain what is PaaS?
Yes.
Yes, please. What is PaaS?
That is platform as a service.
Mhm. Yes, could you please elaborate? Could you give me some 1 or 2 example of services?
The platform as a services. Uh, Basically, um, In a platform as a services, when you purchase platform, all you have to worry is about let's take an example of that um,
That's okay. That's okay, Razak. It's okay. You can mute. Guys,
Yes.
are you able to hear him? Or is he breaking for you also, or is it only me?
Breaking.
It
Okay.
seems
Razak,
mic has
Yes,
that's okay.
yes.
Razak, you can mute yourself. I'll mute you. We'll move to next one. Okay, guys, who can explain SAS? Can someone please volunteer and explain SAS?
Yeah, so this is Chanul.
Yes.
SAS, it's a here the software will be generated by the some other team or the cloud team. And like, for example, you have given Gmail and mobile drives, some other person had given that example, where we just have to log in and we can directly use those application. Here, if any issues are there, then the concerned person is do not have to take any attention, but the team, like Google team, will help us to sort that issues. Like
Right.
if
And
a
how do
system
you
is
access software as a service?
I guess it is free for use, like Gmail you said yesterday. We can directly log in,
Yeah, so
create our
it
account.
usually works on internet over the web browser.
Yeah, it works on internet.
Internet over the web browser.
Okay.
Fine, guys. I'm not asking any more questions. We can proceed. But it wasn't, to be very honest, it wasn't that great. As an interviewer, if I ask these questions and if all these answers I consider from one person, तो उतना satisfactory नहीं था. I mean, I will definitely go for some another person at least to have a look at, let's see, or options क्या है मेरे पास, right? But if you give answers flawlessly, with example, with explanation, then trust me, your interviewer will not go ahead and look for other option. They will decide कि हाँ हमको इस candidate को लेना है. Even if they go ahead and conduct another interviews, etc., they will finalize you. They will shortlist you, right? So that happens. It's okay. This was the first day, but I shared very less questions today. I think only 4 questions I shared, right? So guys, please make sure you do read. I told you, no matter how good you are, but if you do not read properly, if you do not go ahead and do a study after these sessions, then you are not able to clear the interview for sure. No matter how good you are, how good you grasp in these 2 hours session, Saturday, Sunday, but if you do not open the portal, I mean, till now we have not discussed the portal, but whenever we discuss, if you do not open the portal, if you do not open the book, if you do not go ahead and read, then it is not going to help, right? So please make sure that you go ahead and read a little bit about it, whatever I share. Let me show you one example of serverless architecture or serverless application, and then we'll start with today's topic. So here, when I say virtual machine, this is one of the services. Okay, all these are called services, by the way. Whatever we are using, these are called services from Azure. There are 1,000 plus. There is no engineer or architect who knows all of them, right? We will be focusing on few of them. Like there are 22 services in AI. We have to do nothing about it. Zero. We are not learning it. Analytics. I told you about analytics. There are 23 services they have about analytics. Look, Power BI, I can install on my laptop, or I can use Power BI on cloud as well, right? But still, we are not discussing these services as well. Compute. This is the main thing which we have. Again, we are not going to use all of these services from compute. We are going to use few of them. One of them is virtual machine, which is very crucial and very important. Virtual machine service, right? Virtual machine is there, availability set is there. Here it is, virtual machine. This is the crucial one. We are going to spend a lot of time in this, and you will be getting many questions from this. This is the backbone. So when I use virtual machine, I'm using a server, right? I'm using a server. When I'm using SQL, I'm using a server. In fact, all of these, wherever I'm using a server. But the difference is in these services, I don't have to worry about server. But when I click on virtual machine, I will have, if I say click new, create new. Don't worry about this, guys. This is not the topic as of now. I'm just explaining the serverless computing. When we discuss virtual machine, I will explain click by click. Right. So look at this. Here I have to worry about operating system. That which operating system do I want? Right? Which operating system do I want? How much of RAM do I want, etc. I have to worry about it. But when I say serverless computing, I don't have to worry about that. Let me show you one of the services. I was talking about translator, like we have Google Translate. But let's say you are running a call center, a small call center, where you are doing some transcription job. कोई ट्रांसलेशन का जॉब आप कर रहे हो, forget the transcription, उसके लिए दूसरा सॉफ्टवेयर लगेगा, ट्रांसलेशन का जॉब कर रहे हो, so you get some paperwork in Spanish and you have to translate those paperwork in English. Very simple. You have hired 5 people, you have your client, but what your client says that no matter how small your company is, or no matter how small I am as a client, but uh, you cannot use a public software, a software which is available publicly. I do not want to compromise my data, right? I do not want you to use Google Drive, Google Translator. I hope all of you have used Google Translator, right? But the client says, I do not want to use a publicly available solution. Don't you have, you are a company, if you want a project from me, don't you have your own software, something which is, let me show it to you. This is Google Translator, okay? Your simple job is to convert or to translate something which is there in maybe Spanish or Chinese or anything or any other language, right? That to Italian or Irish. Okay. Your simple job is to convert that. Your people who to whom you have hired, they simply come here and they copy paste something and they do the translation and they uh and they submit the file. This is the simplest job you have, which can be achieved, which can be done easily via Google Translator. However, the client says, right? The client says, no, I do not want you to use Google Drive. I do not want to use, sorry, Google Translator. So let's say this is the file you have. And this is the job. Simple. This output you have to paste in an Excel file and send it to client. बस इतना ही काम है आपके एजेंट्स का जिनको आपने हायर किया. You're paying very less, very minimum wages to them, 15, 20,000, 25,000. You are earning best. Use from this project as a call center owner, आप अच्छा सा कमा रहे हो, right? But suddenly now client has come up stating, कि नहीं, I don't want you to use Google Translate. I want to have your own software. Now, imagine you're a small company. What options do you have? You have an option, legacy option, which we discussed. Because if you have your own software, what do you need, guys? If you have your own application, what would you need to run that application?
Nice.
You will require a server, right? Maybe यहाँ पर आपको 1000-2000 server नहीं लगेंगे, 100-200 भी नहीं लगेंगे. At least 2 servers, 3 servers, right? Let's say you are planning to have a translate. Ignore the spelling mistake, guys. Right? Translator software or translator application. What all do you need, guys? Let's start. Whatever you understand, what all do you need? From scratch, you are planning to do it because your client has asked you not to use Google Translate.
We will need a software developer.
Yes, a developer, a tester, or let's say a development team, completely dev team, right? सब आ गया इसमें. Developer, tester, etc., सब कुछ आ गया. What else do you need?
Premises for the server.
Yes, so you need a server. बहुत छोटा application है. Still 4 server तो लगेंगे, 5 servers तो लगेंगे. Let's say 4 servers. Expense आप अपने mind में calculate करते जाओ, guys. Okay, I'm not talking about the expenses. Yes.
Then RAG, networking.
Networking. Yes. What else?
Like when we will require a security person for taking care of the
Yes.
server.
ISP before that, right? Power supply. Yeah.
Power
To handle
supply.
those servers, 4 servers को आप जमीन पे तो नहीं रखोगे. Maybe a small rack, but a rack. Right?
Rack
Small
is
rack तो
required.
लगेगा. Backup, storage. Then जहां पर उन servers को रख रहे हो, it's a small one. I won't even call it a data center. It will be called a server room. But still, you will have to maintain the temperature of that server room. AC, right? And when I say power, so even if it is a 4 servers, 4 server का छोटा सा ये है, you cannot rely only on power supply. You will require a generator here, maybe a DG backup, right? Diesel generator backup. इतने छोटे इसके लिए आप 2 सब पावर सप्लाई तो लोगे नहीं. सिम ISP मिनिमम 2 लोगे आप, 3 नहीं लोगे, right? So imagine the expenses you are going to spend here. और उसके बाद अगर क्लाइंट 6 महीने में प्रोसेस वापस ले लेता है, then what, right? So to tackle this situation, we have cloud. So one option in cloud is I go to cloud, I take a server. इसमें क्या होगा? Let's continue with the same. ठीक है, चलो. If I go to cloud, this is for your understanding, guys. I go to cloud and I decide to take infrastructure as a service. So मुझको क्या क्या मिलेगा क्लाउड से? इनमें से क्या क्या चीजें क्लाउड से मिल जाएगी मुझको? और what am I responsible for? Forget क्या क्या क्लाउड से मिलेगा, that's a huge list. This is my requirement. I am planning to go to cloud and I'm taking infrastructure as a service. What am I responsible for when I take infrastructure as a service? So इनमें से किन चीजों के लिए मैं responsible होगा इस?
For everything, I would be
Except for
responsible.
development team,
Develop,
Dev team. What else?
ISP, no, ISP,
no,
No,
rest
I see.
everything is that.
rest
It
everything.
would be
Develop.
taken care by me.
Yes. You are responsible. You as in company or tenant. Say guys, why is it called tenant? Because we are renting something on Azure's property, right? So we are tenant. We as in our company is tenant. You are engineer over there, but your companies are tenant. So I'll be using a term tenant. So tenant is responsible for tenant's responsibility. So what are the tenant's responsibility, guys, in infrastructure as a service? Try to refer the image which I showed. You can always refer that OneNote. You can keep it open with you guys. Whenever I'm asking questions also, you can answer by looking at that. As of now, I'm not expecting you guys to remember everything, but I want you to be fluent when it comes to answering. So yes, what else are we
Application.
responsible for, guys?
Application.
Application. चलो इस सबको हमने डेव टीम में कंसिडर कर लिया. एप्लीकेशन, डेटाबेस एक्सेट्रा, ये सब आपका डेव टीम में आ गया, राइट? बट वन मोर थिंग, इट्स हियर रन टाइम, राइट? एन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इंस्टॉलेशन इट्स देयर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, बट उसका हैंडलिंग जो है वो हमारे पास होता है, राइट? सो आई विल राइट OS ऑल्सो हियर. Similarly, if I go for PaaS, then what is the responsibility of a tenant, guys?
Only developer team. That's it.
Dev team, right? And now I'm talking about SaaS. What is my responsibility here?
No one. I mean,
Nothing, right? So let me show you one example.
By,
Continuing the same example, translator application, the methods are, I can go to Azure, any cloud, but now we'll be talking about Azure, right? Create a virtual machine like this, the one which I'm showing to you. Let's say my machine is created. Now hire a developer, give him the access of this machine, give him the IP address, and boss, please log into my machine and develop an application, right? Simple. That's what I can do. Let me show it to you. Let's say if I have, don't worry about this shuffling which I'm doing, navigation which I'm doing on the screen without telling you, because this isn't the topic today. But we are still discussing infrastructure as a service. Though I did that, but looking at today's answer, I thought it's either you guys did not read, to be very honest, or it wasn't that clear. So I'm just repeating it in a different manner. So I hope that becomes clear to you. Okay, so I'll prepare a server and give that IP address to my developer, or there are a number of methods to connect to that server. We'll cover that when we talk about virtual machines, right? I will give that IP address to the to my application owner or to my developer, and I'll ask him that please develop an application. And before that, if developer says that to develop an application, I require .NET to be installed on that server, I don't know how to install a .NET, right? Then I will have to hire one system admin also. I will give this IP, I will ask a system admin that can you please log into this server. I mean, here we are just talking about one server. Actually, एक server पे कभी कुछ नहीं होता है, right? So there has to be a team. और ये networking वगैरह जो already मैंने कर रखी है, right? I will have to hire someone to do that. So I'll have to hire a team जो server बनाएगा यहाँ पर, because I am a business person, right? I'm bringing business from somewhere. I'm focusing on marketing. I'm not a tech guy. I don't know this. So I'll have to hire everyone. ये सब करने के बाद सर्वर हायर होने के बाद I'll have to hire a development team. वो सब डेवलप करेंगे, टेस्टिंग करेंगे, and ultimately what will I have? I will have a product which I can show to my client that okay, I have a translator with me, okay, and these all the functionality. Again, this is my translator. ये मैं गूगल का बता रहा हूँ, but if when you have your own, you will have something like this. A website होगा आपका, आपके खुद के नाम का वेबसाइट होगा, और इसी तरह कुछ दिखेगा. ट्रांसलेटर से ज्यादा क्या दिखेगा? मे बी कुछ एक्स्ट्रा फंक्शनैलिटी आप डाल दोगे, आपका लोगो वगैरह या ऐड कर दोगे, राइट? बट अल्टीमेटली दिस इज व्हाट यू विल हैव, and you can show it to your client, and then you will get that project, and again you can start working. Now you will ask your employees to go to this website और यहाँ से यूज करो, यहाँ से डेटा का आउटपुट लेकर आप सबमिट करो. दिस इज one method. Another method is you can go for platform as a service. Under platform as a service, can someone give me an example of platform as a service? I had given 2 examples in my OneNote. Did someone go through and read it? Yes, guys. No one read it? That's sad, guys.
Java related.
Yeah, function app and app service. These are the 2 examples I had shared. Please understand, guys. Is it visible? Do you want me to zoom in?
No, it's visible.
Guys, please understand that unless you start using technical jargons in your interview answer, it is not going to help you. The more jargons, the more services, more relevant you make it, the more chances you get of hiring. Because as an interviewer, guys, even if I conduct someone's interview, I have no idea to know that person. अगर उसको सब कुछ आता भी है, there is no mechanism I can put a camera in his or her head and extract the information, or at least see the information. That how much he knows, how much she knows. Is she lying? Is he lying? So the only way, and to be very honest, yeah, interviews में at least to the what package you guys are targeting, I have spoken to all of you by now. The package you guys are targeting, इसमें कभी भी आपके साथ ऐसा नहीं होगा इंटरव्यू में that they're going to share their screen or they will ask you to share your screen and build something on the portal. पोर्टल पे बिल्ड करने में 2-4 घंटे लग जाते हैं. इंटरव्यूअर के पास इतना टाइम नहीं होता है. So no one is going to ask you to build something. So the only method remaining is to know what do you know. It's by asking. So interviewer के पास वो एक ही mechanism है. He or she will ask you a question and they will judge you based on what you say. So if you do not use the services, name of services, some technical jargons, etc., तो सामने वाले को लगेगा इसने काम नहीं किया. Because when you start working, ये सारे नाम आपको जो है बाय हार्ट हो जाते हैं, बाय डिफॉल्ट वो आने लगते हैं आपकी कॉन्वर्सेशन में. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू पोर्ट्रे. इफ यू वांट टू शो दैट यू हैव वर्कड ऑन Azure, you guys will have to start this. So let's go ahead and check app services. As of now we are not talking about the technical topic. हमारा यही है guys. टॉपिक हमारा PaaS चल रहा है, PaaS and serverless architecture में समझा रहा हूँ आपको. Okay, so now look at this, guys. यहाँ पर भी similarly, like I was doing machine, we have to select few things. यहाँ पर मेरे अपने ऐप का नाम मैं दे दूंगा. So let's say I have UT Cloud Translation Services, ऐसे कोई ये है. So मैं ऐसे नाम दे दूंगा. ठीक है. Now this is PaaS, guys. तो इसमें मेरी responsibility क्या है? What is my responsibility?
Application and a runtime environment. So that would be your operating system and your application.
PaaS runtime मेरे responsibility है guys. PaaS में
Sorry, data and application only.
yes, अगर रन टाइम मुझको करना है then it is infrastructure, right? रन टाइम वगैरह मैं सब कुछ वहां से लूंगा. डेटा एंड एप्लीकेशन. तो व्हेन आई से एप्लीकेशन, उसका मतलब क्या? वो कोडिंग मुझको करनी है, मुझको ऐसे मेरी टीम को करनी है, किसी से नहीं करवाऊं मैं. सो हियर आई विल सेलेक्ट द रन टाइम. लुक एट दिस, नाउ यू विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज रन टाइम. ये होता है रन टाइम. .NET, जावा, PHP, Python, these are the runtime. मतलब ये एक बेस देते हैं कि किस लैंग्वेज में आप सॉफ्टवेयर लिखने वाले हैं, उसका रन टाइम इंस्टॉल कर लो. So my developers, they have written a code in Python. So I'm selecting Python here, or maybe a .NET. So I'm selecting .NET here. Okay, whatever it is, let's stick with Python. Python आते ही by default इसने Linux select कर लिया because Python won't work with Windows. But if it is Java, I can select Windows or Linux. Right? Both I can select. बस इतना ही select करना है मुझको कि Windows चाहिए या Linux चाहिए. Right? I select that. Region वगैरह हम बाद में discuss करते हैं. Right? इतना ही मुझको select करना है. Click next, 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 next. And then I will get a platform जहां पे मैं अपना कोड को import कर पाऊंगा. वहां पे मैं अपने कोड को इंपोर्ट कर पाऊंगा गाइस. जो कोड में अलग से लिख रखा है उस कोड को उसमें इंपोर्ट कर दूंगा एंड देन आई विल हैव माय एप्लीकेशन अप एंड रनिंग. यहाँ पे मैंने कोई नेटवर्किंग में ज्यादा फोकस नहीं किया. लुक एट दिस, नेटवर्किंग में कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं, बस इतना पूछ रहा है पब्लिक एक्सेस चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए, यस और नो. Otherwise, when you go to virtual machines, this one, let me show it to you. I'm trying to show you the difference between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and third tab will go for software as a service. So this is first tab is infrastructure as a service. So here, if I'm going to create a virtual machine is an example of infrastructure as a service. Okay. So it is going to ask me n number of details like operating system क्या होगा आपका, disk आपको कितने चाहिए, right? Monitoring क्या होगा आपका, look at these options. Networking क्या होगा, what is the IP address of this, कौन से ports आपको चाहिए, what is the IP address you guys are going to use. Everything I will have to create here and select here. On the other hand, when I go for web app, which is an example of PaaS, platform as a service, I don't have to do anything here. ये monitoring भी खुद ही करेगा, right? You don't have to worry about it. They will do everything. आपको बस इतना बताना है कि मॉनिटरिंग इनेबल करनी है नहीं करनी है, किस टाइप की करनी है. आई हैव 2 ऑप्शंस, कौन सी वाली करनी है, उस हिसाब से आपको चार्जेस लगेगा. व्हिच वन डू यू वांट टू डू. उतना ही आपको करना है, देन यू विल हैव एवरीथिंग रेडी. बस देन आपको डिप्लॉय क्या करना है, आपका कोड, बिकॉज दे हैव नॉट रिटन अ कोड फॉर यू. कोड आपको रेडी करना है एंड देन यू हैव टू पुट द कोड इन दैट container, or you call that in operating system, whatever you call it. That is platform as a service. Now third one is software as a service. What are we responsible for in software as a service, guys?
Just have to manage the application.
Data.
Nothing.
Manage
Data.
the application.
Yeah, just the
Nothing.
data. So I'll go look for a service translator. Do I have it? Yes, I have it. Create a translator. Now when I say create here, it doesn't mean that I'm developing it. Okay, let me show it to you. Create का क्या मतलब है, कुछ तो मुझको थोड़ा बहुत नाम वगैरह देना पड़ेगा ना, maybe basic names etc, ये सब कुछ देना पड़ेगा, right? So why am I selecting this? कि मेरे users कहाँ से इसको ये करने वाले हैं. If my users, my employees are sitting in India और मैं अपना सर्वर यहाँ पर बना लूँ, then it will be little bit difficult. As of now, I'm taking anything. It's okay. यहाँ पे मैं अपने सॉफ्टवेयर का नाम दूंगा. ठीक है, प्राइसिंग टियर, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ, कितना मैं यूटिलाइज करने वाला हूँ, 62 मिलियन कैरेक्टर्स मंथली, कितना मैं यूज करने वाला हूँ, ये आइडिया मेरे पास ऑलरेडी होगा. एज ऑफ नाउ आई एम जस्ट गोइंग विद फ्री टियर. नेक्स्ट, नेटवर्क, ऑल नेटवर्क इंटरनेट पैक्स यूज करना है या आपके प्राइवेट कंपनी में यूज करना है. नाउ यू आर सेइंग माय एम्प्लॉइज आर वर्किंग फ्रॉम होम आल्सो, इंटरनेट से कर दो, इट्स ओके. ठीक है, all these things we are going to discuss, don't worry. As of now, this is not the topic. The topic is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So now I'm trying to show you kitna easy hai software as a service. Guys, only 3 minutes are left in this session. I'll show you the software as a service wala, and then we'll close the session. We'll take a break of 10 minutes because I'll have to, there's some issue with this recording, so I'll have to fix that. And if I start the session before fixing that recording, I won't be able to recover that recording, right? So I'll ping you whenever we have to join. Won't take more than 10 minutes. I got an error here that this recording will not be saved, so I'll have to fix that. So as soon as that is done, I will ping you in the group. We'll join using the same session, same link. We'll join the session. using the same link. Here it is, guys. This is ready. That's it I had to do. That's it. Now I have my personal translator is ready, which I can show to my client, right? मतलब इसमें और बहुत सारी चीजें होती है जहां पे आप अपना डोमेन ऐड कर सकते हो, यूटी क्लाउड वगैरह एटसेट्रा. दैट विल सी लेटर जब हम इस टॉपिक को करेंगे. विल सी दैट. बट नाउ व्हाट एम आई, लेट्स गो विद स्पेनिश. जो सेलेक्टेड है वही कर रहा हूं मैं, ठीक है. दैट आई एम कन्वर्टिंग फ्रॉम इंग्लिश टू स्पेनिश. सो हियर इट इज, फ्रॉम इंग्लिश टू स्पेनिश. इट्स डन. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Now simply you have your own software. How difficult how difficult was it when we were discussing on-prem? Right? Imagine yes up. Imagine this one. जहां पे डेव टीम को भी आपको हायर करना है. आप वैसे ही एक छोटे कंपनी हो, यू डोंट वांट टू स्पेंड मनी. पास में भी डेव टीम हायर करनी है आपको, यहाँ पर ओएस टीम भी हायर करनी है. एंड दिस इज, ये तो ऐसा है कि आप एक यूट्यूब वीडियो देखकर यू वोंट इवन रिक्वायर्ड अ क्लाउड इंजीनियर. खुद ही कर लोगे आप. यू डोंट इवन नीड अ क्लाउड इंजीनियर फॉर दिस. हाँ, इसमें जब इन डेप्थ आपको जाना होगा ना, कि कोई चेंजेस करने हैं, पर्सनलाइज करना है, इसके कोड को देखना है, इसको मॉनिटर करना है, और मे बी इसमें कोई चीजें सिक्योर वगैरह करना है, देन यू मे रिक्वायर्ड. अदरवाइज this is the simplest way you can use a service on cloud. Okay, guys, only 1 minute is left. Less than 30 seconds are left. So I'm going to stop the session now. Then now next time, guys, I'm not going to repeat infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. I hope this is a detailed explanation I have given. Still, if you guys have not understood, let me know. Right, let me close the session. I'll join in 10 minutes. I'll ping you guys when to join. Using the same link, let me just fix this recording and I'll join. Thank you. And try to come up with questions meanwhile if you have any.